we're going to get to a story off the shores of Lake Erie. We have been overwhelmed with Buffalo Bill apologists, and we go where the news of the day takes us, and it continues to swirl around a wide receiver in Orchard Park, New York. The Stefon Diggs story, its tentacles are all over the NFL. Now, if you haven't heard the latest here, now perhaps not, let me give you the very small recap of what happened here. So, Stefon Diggs got called out by a Buffalo Bills team reporter, and then he responded. It seemed like he had a ghostwriter, very wordy thing. He was playing the victim card from the bottom of the deck, this great travesty. Somebody didn't like him, and they got recorded not liking him, and so he had this very, the sob story on social media. And now we've learned that the Cowboy defender, who happens to be the brother of Stefon Diggs, Trevon Diggs, has now spoken, and he wants his brother out of a Buffalo Bills uniform after the latest drama-o-rama in Buffalo. Upset that reporter was caught on a hot mic, candid camera, saying that there's no control over Stefon Diggs. And then, of course, she apologized because she's trying to save her job. But we all know the way this works. You don't accept the apology. You accept the initial statement because they didn't realize they were being recorded. And so they spoke. Anyway, so Trevon of the Cowboys responded to that. He said, they turn on you so quick. Gotta get bro somewhere safe. Close quote. Gotta get bro somewhere safe. Shots fired. Let us discuss the question. What is your verdict on this latest wrinkle in the Stefon Diggs story? So I've got Parachute, Hormel Foods, and Island Time. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make chicken wings. Now, the modern American chicken wing started in Buffalo. Now, chickens have always had wings, but the mass consumption of the chicken wing, you can thank the Anchor Bar in Buffalo. I was there years ago. I was in Buffalo. I went to the Anchor Bar and heard so much about it. And walked in there, and the first thing I saw was a photo of the old Dodger manager, Tommy Lasorda, who had stopped by there and probably not paid a dime for his meal. It was just kind of funny. Anyway, all right, so first of all, Trevon Diggs didn't turn on the fog machine here. It's not like he's tiptoeing around this. It's rather clear. It's like vodka. It's very clear. It's as plain as the schnozola on your face. Buffalo is not a safe space. Not a safe space. Stefon Diggs taking friendly fire, body blow from a reporter who is supposed to be on the payroll and put players on a pedestal. When you are a team employee, say, I never pay attention to these team website stories or the league website stories. It's all bullcrap, right? They are paid to genuflect to the athlete's wants and needs. That's just the way it is. And for all those Bills Mafia guys who have flooded the phones and the social media on this show, who tell me, including Andy, the comic book guy, that Stefon Diggs' story is contrived by gas bags and media people. It's national media. Nobody in Buffalo believes this. Well, you have a Bills reporter who said it, but they didn't realize they were on the record. So you have that. And now you have the brother of Stefon Diggs, an active NFL player, implying that he would like a trade for his brother. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And the Cowboy player, Trevon, he wants his brother to flip the switch, apparently, and enter what they have in college football. They don't. I guess Trevon knows they don't have this in the NFL. The transfer portal. And when Stefon Diggs enters the transfer portal, I'm guessing, I don't want to speak for the Diggs family, but they would like the parachute to drop down in Jerry's world. Now, is it true that Stefon Diggs, the Bills player, and his brother conspired together? Now, we've seen players relocate because of family. The greatest example recently was Odell Beckham a couple years ago, whose old man went on social media and ripped apart Baker Mayfield, ripped the Browns apart, and then eventually they got their wish, and Baker Mayfield stayed briefly in Cleveland, and Odell Beckham did not. But blood is thicker than water. I saw that on a bumper sticker, and this is the family business. And the family's not happy. Now, secondly, I want to turn to baseball. There's an interesting story. A couple of stories in baseball that caught my attention as the season winds down. And then the hunt for the World Series in October starts up. So the guillotine fell at Fenway Park. Chaim Bloom. Who? Chaim Bloom was whacked as the general manager of the stumbling and bumbling Red Sox after 4 seasons. The Sox playing the Yankees in a doubleheader on Thursday, and while all that was going on, it was announced that they had removed their general manager. Now, the owner, John Henry, pulling the plug on his latest Yale-educated czar of baseball ops, and it was only a 4-year run. So did Chaim Bloom get a raw deal as the Red Sox GM? That's the first question. And I'm shaking my head no on this. Like, Chaim Bloom oversaw an era of mostly mediocrity in Boston baseball, and it is a results-based business. I think that's the way it is. I know this one is. So Chaim Bloom was there when they tore down the stars that had been there, they, merrily carrying out the orders to trade Mookie Betts from ownership. It's the problem was not necessarily trading Mookie Betts if the Red Sox weren't going to pay him, but you got to get something in return more than a bunch of flat soda and stale potato chips. That was a total train heist by the Dodgers. The Red Sox traded Mookie Betts and David Price, he stinks, and cash for Alex Verdugo, who's an average outfielder, Connor Wong, who's an below-average player, and Jeter Downs, who's not even that. And that trade alone justifies giving a pink slip to Chaim Bloom if he signed off on that and said, this is the best we can get for a player who's a generational talent in Mookie Betts. And then he also gave Trevor Story and his broken-down body $140 million. He's hardly played for the Red Sox. So when you take a couple of steps back, Chaim Bloom was working at Hormel Foods. The Red Sox roster was filled with canned Spam. From top to bottom, they were signing stopgap players, bunch of leftover Dodger guys they had, Justin Turner's at the end of his career, Kenley Jansen, guys like that. But the biggest indictment to the Red Sox former GM is the A word. That is the word that gets you fired every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Apathy. And from what my guys are telling me in Boston, that there's been a bunch of apathy among the Red Sox fans, that the diehard fans are just, that Fenway's been, by its standards, pretty much a ghost town, and they're indifferent, that there's not a lot of passion. They know the team's not very good. And we have complete confidence, though. You ask the question, is this a good job? Yeah, it's a good job. The Red Sox have a big payroll, but it doesn't matter because the Red Sox are just going to hire another computer whiz, some whiz kid who has an Ivy League degree, and that's just what they do. They just will go that direction. All right, quickly, one other thought on baseball, and I want to head to Anaheim, where we are now told the Angels have, quote, seen no indication, close quote, that Mike Trout wants to be traded. Now, this comes on the heels of a recent report that said Trout is going to request a trade. The assumption is in a private conversation with the front office, he wants to know about the direction of the team, and the assumption is he's going to ask for a trade. But this latest report says there's no indication of that happening. So we have conflicting reports, dueling banjos. How do you decode Mike Trout's passive attitude, if this report is true, on his Halo future? So I have predictable as the word here. Mike Trout just doesn't seem all that motivated to do anything, to play baseball, to complain, to not complain. He's not a guy that's going to raise a hullabaloo. He's not wired that way. He's living on island time, chillaxing. Mike Trout is not a guy who seems to be neurotic about shadow blasting the halos, right? He just wants to have a pineapple cocktail, sit on the beach, put some suntan lotion on, and just enjoy life. If the team happens to be good, that's more fun. But if the team sucks, he's on island time. He's living the island life. But this story, I will guarantee you that this Mike Trout story is going to work as freshly chopped firewood. And this will be on the Hot Stove League of Baseball fire as soon as the playoffs end. And the usual suspects, will Mike Trout go to the hometown Phillies? Is he going to go to the Yankees? How about the Red Sox? Will the Mets make a splash? Same old, same old, same old. Everyone will be chomping at the bit to get their hands on Mike Trout.